Good day, church. It's afternoon, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this. It's one of those days. We're coming to you with our coffee talk early this week. We've had, I trust you got to spend some time this weekend. Most of you got to see Jeff, meet Jeff, chat with him. It was a full week. It was really, it was fun. It was really nice to spend some time with him, get to know him better. Now we're moving forward with the next step. So we didn't want to delay Coffee Talk. We want to get this out as early as possible so that because now you've got some work to do, and we want you to have all the time necessary that you need to get ready for Sunday, so that that you can be part of the discussion and the vote that will be happening. So thanks for tuning in with us. That's really the heart of what we want to do. What we want to say this week is just, how do we get through that next step? How do we do it? How do we take it? And so that you are not missing your opportunity and responsibility to be part of the process.
One thing that I found in the last weekend as well too, in discussing with people, and it was really cool for me to be able to connect with a lot of people in here, and it was super good. We had 3 different sessions where we had different people in, and it was really cool because in one weekend, one fell swoop, we almost had everybody back, and so that was really cool. I know there's lots who can't and won't, and that's all another thing, but it was really cool to connect with people. But some of the questions that came out were, how is the vote going to work? What needs to happen? Can we do it this way? Why can't we? And so we wanted to just very briefly touch on a couple of those things, just to kind of explain some of that. Some people have been asking, why couldn't we just drop a ballot in because we're gone this weekend, or stuff like that. What Chris is saying about having that responsibility and the privilege of the vote, it's not just the vote we're looking for.
Correct.
I think we are absolutely, first and foremost, like it says on the webpage, we are looking to pray together, to be in prayer, to be lifting all of this to God and saying, God, would you lead in our individual prayer time and in our corporate and in our leadership and all of that. The second thing is, it's really important for us to discuss.
Yes.
Right? You can't just drop a vote and then walk away, because that's not how we work. We need to be able to discuss. So if you have some reservations, let's talk about it. Not so that we can be changing people's minds, or if it is a no from everybody, that's another. But we need to be having that discussion and saying, okay, where are we at? What's some of this stuff that we need to be talking about and addressing right now? And so the discussion is really important. So that's why it's not just a drop your vote and go kind of thing.
Oh, totally.
Now we realize with Thanksgiving, it's a strange time and a hard time, right?
There's another reason for no just dropping your ballot. There's a legal thing too about being present at a meeting, all because we fall under the Societies Act and all of that, and so we want to. But you know what? And here's what's going through my mind as we're in a season with a provincial election, right? You can't equate the two. This is not like a provincial election where I could vote now, but. No, because, like you said, the discussion is important. We want to move forward as a church, with one voice. We want to be seeking God together. We want to, take the next season ahead as one. And we don't get that by just dropping our opinion in a box and walking away. We get that by coming together around the table, by sharing life together, and this is part of church life. So that's why we need to come together on Sunday. And yes, it's Thanksgiving. We know some of you are away. Isn't it great that we have technology that can draw us together? So that we can still do this business.
And what's really cool is that we are allowed to, by Societies Act now, that has opened it up a little bit, that we can bring people in on Zoom and have people in the room so that we can have our quorum. And that's another thing. We want to have the quorum, but we are not aiming for that.
No.
We are aiming that every voting member, at the least, is able to be present. And that those that are caring and interested and want to be a part of all of this, that you're coming into this. So if you have not registered for the vote, you need to be registering, even if you're on Zoom, even if you're going to be in the room.
That's right.
So on the registration, you'll see two options. Are you going to be in the room or on Zoom? If you choose in this room, there's only 40 spots available, and we're doing that intentionally. But if you're able to be on Zoom, there's an unlimited amount.
Yes.
So we could have 500 people in this.
Right.
No, we can have 50 or 100 or something like that, right? So we can have more than enough
even
people.
if we only could do all of our members on Zoom, it would work.
Yes.
But thankfully, we've also got the opportunity to have 40 in this room.
Yep.
Plus a few extras who are kind of running things, right? So, there'll be more like 45 in this room. And then however many we need on Zoom. So if you're out of town, you can be on Zoom. If you're really at risk for getting sick and don't feel comfortable coming out, you can be on Zoom.
We've already had a Zoom call from somebody who just wasn't ready to come into the room, and they're ready to go. And
so that's in large part why we went this out Tuesday afternoon, is so that you can go tomorrow, you can go Wednesday, you can go on our church website or the Church Center app and sign up to be here or on Zoom. Or Thursday morning, if you can't figure out the tech stuff, Ursula's in, by 9. And so between 9 and noon, we're going to ask you to sign up by noon on Thursday, because we would like to, on Thursday afternoon, run a Zoom test. That kind of, I think, gives two reasons for that. One, make sure we've got all of our tech working, that you can hear audio. We want to be able to see a few people on the screen, have all just to run all that. We don't want to be figuring that out Sunday at 11. Yeah. It's just not the time to do it. We'd love to do it Thursday afternoon. Also, make sure that then it allows us to make sure and help you if if the app isn't working right for you, or if you're having trouble logging in, then we can walk with you through that. Sunday at the meeting starts at 11:15. If you're trying to connect at 11:14 and it's not working, you're going to miss the meeting. We just can't help you. We will be involved in other ways, making sure that the meeting is running. And so we would love to be able to help you. We just will not be available Sunday morning to do that. And so that's why we're trying to set up Thursday afternoon as that time.
So just for clarity, you were kind of talking about the Sunday vote over Zoom. And so that's one thing we want you to sign up for.
Yes.
What we're talking about is if you're a little bit nervous about Zoom, if you're not sure, or if this is the first time, or even if you just want to see some people and hang out, this week on Thursday, we just want to do a little test call. So we're going to just do kind of a group meeting Thursday afternoon, and we're going to send out an email today to invite you to that. If you decide that that's something that you want to do, you're going to reply to the email and say, yep, put me in. I'm wanting to test my Zoom, make sure my audio works, make sure my video works, all of that. Or even just hang out with some people. We're going to do that Thursday afternoon. So just reply to that email so that we can get that all figured out. And then it helps you feel a little bit more at ease and say, you know what, it's easy. I just click on the thing, done. It starts Zoom up and I'm ready to go. So that Sunday morning, what I'm really hoping for is that we really talk about what's really important. We have all this technology stuff, and I'm excited for it to just kind of get put off to the side so that we can talk about what's really important. And my reflection of this last weekend is that this is a good time in the life of our church, and I'm excited for it. And I'm anticipating what God is going to do in our church these days, and that's what I want to get to. So help us get to that so that we're not fixing cameras and mics and stuff like that. Also, so that we can work on your camera etiquette. We don't want to see this part of you or like this part of you or something like that. Just to work on
it. Absolutely. Then we can say, hey, to give it a little tilt, or and things like just practicing muting mics when you're not speaking, unmuting mics, because the amount of times we've been in a meeting and someone's tried to talk and it's like, sorry, you're muted, and then they're like, and you just, they start, we want this to go great and go smoothly. And you know what happened a few times Sunday, because if you were here in the room, you probably experienced this, but we had the fullest service yet for a Sunday morning, and several people came up afterwards and were surprised by how good it was. I know I don't know, I've been in a church before where like 30 people was it, and it was awkward just being the only new person, right? This was when Sheena and I, we like went to some random church on our honeymoon. We were out of town and we were like the only new people, and it was like all eyes on us. But it was still sweet. And then even our services that we've been having, the group has been small. There's lots of room for more people, but it is sweet being together. And a few people, I think, felt more motivated to come out because our candidate was here, and then reflected on just how much they've missed it.
Yeah.
And so I'm really hopeful that, you know what, it's one thing just to have 40 people show up at 11 for a meeting. It'd be so great to have a lot of those people, if not all, like at the service starting at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Come for church. We will worship together and then stay for the meeting in this room.
Yeah.
And it'll be a beautiful morning, church.
Yeah.
It really would be.
And like, we'll talk about it more on Sunday, but like, what better way to be giving thanks, in all of this stuff and this whole weekend we're going to do a lot of our family Thanksgiving kind of stuff, within our immediate families in all these different pockets. It's not going to be, like before, but that's not what Thanksgiving is about. And that's not what our church is about either.
Yeah.
We're not about food.
No,
we're not.
We're not. We're not.
We're Baptist. So
we're about Jesus.
Yeah. I'm just completely reminded of even just how Steve brought us through Philippians 4, that like in all things giving thanks to God and through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. That's just kind of what's on my heart today. Yeah. So I'm excited for this Thanksgiving Sunday.
So question 1 really relates to how do we do the meeting, right? So it's in person here, 11:15 the meeting starts, so come a few minutes early, or on Zoom, 11:15 Sunday morning. They're the same time. The Zoom feed will be a live feed of what's going on in this room. So when you're watching the screen, you're not just seeing the other people in Zoom, but you're seeing what's going on here. The other aspect then is how do we vote?
Yeah.
And we're asking for everybody to give us your cell number because we're going to vote by cell. This lets us, as much as we can, do a single vote. Or I know you might be thinking, well, I don't have a cell phone. If you're here in the room, we will have a paper ballot for you. But generally, we would love just to do voting by cell if we can.
Yeah, even for people in the room. Like,
yes.
So we're going to do our best to get everybody on the same thing. So then if that's everybody, then we actually have one kind of answer. And part of the reason for the texting as well too is so that this is a silent vote as well too, because it is important to us, and we want that to stay as anonymous as possible. And so we're going to default to the silent vote through texting. If that doesn't work for you and you don't have a cell phone, we'll.
Now, if you're not in the room, you're out on Zoom and you want to vote, you need a cell phone. There's no way around that. Now, I suppose it doesn't have to be yours. It could be your grandchild's, your nieces, nephews, whomever. Like, borrow a phone.
But you need to be present.
Yes.
Which means face to face.
Yeah. So we it doesn't matter to us whose phone it is. Although it does need to be one phone per voting person.
Yeah, it's not one for your family.
Yes. So if you are a couple and you share a cell phone, good job making that work. It's just not going to work for the vote. You would then be limited to one vote as a family. So if you can borrow someone's cell phone, there's not a lot of other ways around that. Just give us the number. Make sure we have the number beforehand. And when you sign up, please sign up with the cell number. So that we can get you the opportunity to vote, and then we'll be on our way. And if you, I don't know how else to kind of answer it other than that, but we're doing what we can.
Yeah, if you do have more questions, you can email Ursula at the office, and we'll answer to the best of our ability. But for the most part, that's kind of what we wanted to do today is put out all of that. What I also thought was really cool is we had so many people here in the room this last weekend, but also people who maybe even haven't come out to much of anything since March, which is really cool. One of the people that I do remember sitting there on Thursday night is Ginger. And so it was really cool to see her, but also she just had a 90th birthday. And so she wanted to say thank you to the church as a whole and the ladies who just came by and wished her happy birthday and sang for her. And I think that's really cool to be able to make all those connections. That's really, I think, what was our aim March 17th, that we are going to pick up the phone, we're going to take care of each other. It's going to be a lot of behind the scenes, just people connecting with people, because that's really what our church is, and really what the church is about, that we make those connections, we keep those conversations and relationships going, even though we got to stay safe. Yep. And so we're going to do all that, but we're going to keep those connections going. That's primary for us. So that's really exciting. And
speaking of connections, I mean, Kevin, you've already mentioned it, that there's an email going out. Folks, check your email, and if you're not getting the email, call us. That's maybe step 2. Step 1: check your junk folder or your spam folder, because emails generally go out. We blind carbon copy everybody who's told the church office, I want to be part of the email list. And so some of you have settings that just default emails like that to your junk, and that totally understandable. I do some of the same things for certain email lists you end up on. It's a practicality, but just double check that it isn't first redirecting there. And if you can't find it even there, call and we'll try sending it again. But we want to make sure that you get the links. We want to make sure that you get all the information about how to be involved, and we want you to be connected. And so that's a really important tool for you. And so just double check that, and if you don't hear from us by tomorrow morning, then call on back, and we'll get you the info.
And other than that, we'll see you Thursday if you are up for a connection, or if you just want to do a test call. If you are comfortable with Zoom, then we'll see you Sunday, either in person in this room or over Zoom. And we're excited. And keep praying, and we'll see you guys later. Soon.